Welcome to the Lowdown Mortgage Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the topics that directly impact the evolving originator. I'm your host, Connor Bartley. Bam! And joining me today is someone who believes that growth in his business comes from consistency and intentional execution, not chasing the shiny objects that are out there. He's built structure into his prospecting, never misses a status update call, and lives by the idea that the fortune is in the follow-up. He's also created leverage by building the right support around him so that he can stay focused on relationships and growth. Chris Armbruster, welcome to the Lowdown.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. It's great to have you here. We've known each other for years, so this is just going to be another conversation between us. But I really appreciate you being a part of this because I respect what you do. You've shown growth in your business over the years and have really established yourself as like a professional out there in the DFW market. And when we were talking last before, prepping for this call, something that really struck me that you said, and I believe this too, is that, a lot of lenders out there you didn't give a percentage to it, so I will. I think there's probably about 80 to 90% similarities between every company out there. They're going to give you, similar products. They're going to close your loans on time. There's going to be a competitive rate unless they're just way out of the market. So, at the end of the day, a difference maker is maybe a small difference that they offer, or quite literally, it's you, the loan officer. And so from your perspective, what really makes a loan officer stand out in today's market?
Well, if you ask an agent that, they'll say the people that don't call them and ask them for coffee, that they don't answer their call when they call because they're saying literally, hey, do you want to have coffee so I can tell you how good I am? Doesn't work. And you stand out, honestly, with the first 5 seconds of that call with the customer. I mean, the client calls you, you're being interviewed in that first 10 seconds. Most agents out there will give 3 referral partners, which they have to do, they don't. And they're going to call the first 2. So that first 10 seconds counts. So it's all about communication. It's all about knowledge. It's creativity. That's a key word, creativity. But you don't stand out because of the clothes you wear. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in that. Like in anything sales where there's, cold calling happening or just those kind of sales oriented conversations, and you're always being sort of interviewed. I've always said you live 15 seconds at a time. You've got to earn the next 15 seconds in every conversation that you have. Is there anything just in particular that you're doing to stand out and kind of win that first 15 seconds?
Well, and you kind of hit on it. So without making it a long, drawn-out story, I was at Loan Depot prior to the company I'm with now, Union on Mortgage. I joined Union back in April of 2 years ago. 2 years come this April. And Loan Depot, they had, a good program for implementing social media into your game, basically. So that, that was my main focus. That was kind of what they taught. Social media is the new platform of what's going to get you your business. Came over to Union Home, and they had a coaching program that I jumped into that is for another probably way I grew my business. And the one thing they do teach is theme days. Theme days. And obviously you have to have intention, right? I can tell you every day, every theme day, but it doesn't matter if you don't do it, right? Like you mentioned, Tuesday status update. I'm in Mexico. I'm traveling. I'm making my Tuesday calls. I mean, we can get more into what that entails, but when you call an agent every Tuesday that's in a transaction and tell them exactly where we're at, what the process is, and they answer the phone saying it's Tuesday, isn't it? That makes you smile. And I've grown my business off of listing sides more than obviously the buy side I've already grown my business with. So success story was literally I'm licensed in 7 different states. I had an agent that kind of fell off. She was in DFW, moved to Florida, went to Alabama, went back to Florida, went back to Alabama, did a transaction in Alabama. The listing side now sends me all of his clients off of one transaction. And I think this year we'll close 4 deals. Not huge, but 4 deals is 4 deals. So,
yeah, that's impressive, man. And so, you talk about internal coaching and different companies offer different things, and with anything, even in you see it in sports, right? Teams change coaches and suddenly the team responds differently to the different philosophy of the new coach, and sometimes it's just a different way of approaching the same problem that unlocks something within that team or that individual. What has it been about the coaching that you're receiving now that's been kind of unlocking for you? And I know you mentioned the theme days and the structure, but is there anything else that's really given you new perspective?
A lot. I mean, I say I live by a calendar, and I do. I mean, call blocking, necessity. And they can teach you anything you want. But and it's literally just taking all the coaching that's been out there for ages and putting it all into one. We have a great team. It's called PCP, Partners Coaching Partners, and it's the top of the top coaching down. But it's there's so many tools, but I guess like I said, the main thing is knowing how to scale and grow your business and actually adapting to what fits you. Was I a social media guy? Not really, but I did it because that's what they pushed. You know what I mean? I remember being in my office at home with 12 different shirts and doing 18 different videos as I'm changing shirts and doing all videos and knocking them out in an hour and a half. I got used to it, but I don't do it now. I mean, should I? Yeah. There's so many tools that you can use, but you have to find that one that fits you, your personality. People work with people. That's a huge statement. And the agents you work with are people that you would go have a drink with or have dinner with and not be about business. So most of your bigger agents or your bigger partners are those of friends, not just business partners. So.
Yeah. Well, and something that's common that comes up a lot on this show and with the people that we talk to is that they are very relationship driven, but they're not solely like relational. And what I mean by that is they still remember to ask for the business. And that was something you brought in. That's a testament too about the relationships you have with the listing agents. Like you don't just get that without asking for it. And so has that been something that you've always done, or is that something that's sort of evolved over time? And how did you kind of get to where you were being consistent in that?
I would still struggle. I mean, honestly, the purpose of theme days is to ask for calls. You have people that talk about doing events. The point of events is to have something to call them about. And you can call and chat with them all day long, but some people, and me included, think it's hard to say, hey, if you have anybody that needs some assistance, I'd love to help. And that's all it takes. Tuesday status updates, I get in a groove, and I'm just calling to chat, give updates, and then I'm like, I forgot to ask for the damn business. I just failed that call. I did. So it is. If you get in a groove, sometimes if that's not part of that conversation every single time, you won't ask.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm restructuring my teams, my LP1, my LP2, every time they talk to the client and the agents, they're asking for the business. So it's not just me, it's my team too. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. It's a great comment there. I think all too often, guilty of it myself, you don't want to ask because you think it might damage the relationship in some way, or you don't want them to think that all you're after is that business. But at the end of the day, like, it is a business relationship. and so I think I can't remember the book I read, if it was Go Giver or another one, but I think it was How to Be a Rainmaker, where it said it's kind of weird to be their friend, and so it's definitely a fine line to walk there, right? But just to transition a little bit, I know that you are someone who does his research and really, comes in with an intentional approach and is researched when doing the prospecting and things like that. If you don't mind, just like break down for the listeners here, like where you're getting your information, the types of things that you focus on, and how has that kind of served you in making those calls different?
So when it comes to like chasing the business, as you say, like if I go to an event and I meet 4 agents, I'm literally going to come home. I'm obviously remember their names. As soon as I get home, I'm pulling up list reports, which is a tool out there. it kind of coincides with MBS Highway. A lot of people use Mortgage Coach. I watch MBS Highway every morning. I use list reports on a regular basis. You can partner with agents on it. No plug for them by any means, but I mean, I can literally search any agent in the system, and it tells me how many they've done on the buy side, on the sell side. And if I meet somebody and they've done 2 transactions in a year, I'm not going to chase that business. I kind of have a rule of thumb is on the buy side, if they have 12 or more. And a lot of people are afraid of the ones that have, 50 or more. Because they have a team. It's not them doing all 50, you know what I mean? No reason to be scared of them by any means. I mean, one good transaction and one good deal with the right communication and the right approach and the right practices, you could win a whale, per se, as they call it in the industry. But again, I'm not going to chase somebody that does 2 transactions because their spouse probably makes all the money and they're doing it for fun.
Right.
And I'm not in it for fun. I'm in it to help people.
Well, and you got to protect your time, right? So like you're guarding the door, you understand what's going to be a worthy venture to explore versus one that might end up in, time wasted, for lack of a better way of putting it. But you want to make sure that, I think it's a smart call out that you're being intentional about where you're spending your time and who you're prospecting to. Because if you're for everybody, you're for nobody, and you kind of run into this situation where you're kind of running in circles. And let's call it what it is. The agents that are willing to give you a lot of time that often make you feel really good in the course of your day may not be the best producing agents because they have a lot of time to give, right? And so without that data, it can be hard to really decipher who's who. So I think it's wise. That's a great call out to look at that and kind of set your bottom line.
It'll teach you about the event you're going to too. I mean, I made it a point to, okay, I need to be at least one event every single week. And doing that takes a ton of time. You have to find the right events. So I'm very intentional with the events. I'm more so I want to be a part of the event versus going to an event. A lot of these happy hours, you look up the business, you look up the people that are there and look up their activity. There's not really much activity except for going to have a beer at this event.
Right.
Those are events that it's, again, 30-minute drive there, 30-minute drive back. You're there for an hour and a half and you shook hands and kissed babies for an hour and a half and got nowhere. Where that's an hour and a half I could have been calling people that are actually doing business.
Yeah. And so how are you finding the events though? Is there a website that you go to? Is it a network that you're plugged into? Facebook, something like that? Like where are you finding what's going on?
Facebook events. I did learn, my title rep actually showed me this website I've never heard of before that actually has events on there. But say most of my events are already scheduled for the whole year. And I basically sponsor or host at least one event every month. We have a big one that's basically an agent bus tour that we take agents to, 6 to 8 houses, and it's about 15 agents that literally share feedback to the sellers, give the listing side some pointers of what they can tell the sellers, what they can do. And it's very valuable. But again, you kind of mentioned follow-up. So you spend a good 5 to 6 hours on this bus, 5 to 6 hours of building relationships. And I mean, I am looking them up if I haven't met them before to see if I need to talk to them or not. That sounds mean, but it's not. But they remember you. You get off the bus, they may remember you that day. You don't call them, they forgot you. So that's where the intention, it's all in the follow-up. And again, I have growth there that my follow-up sucks. I just hired she started in December, actually. It's my LP1 is what we call them. And she will literally do the follow-up for me, with the clients, not the agents. Obviously, that's my job to be the sell side on the agents. But if I get a lead and I don't get a hold of them that day, guess what? They need 8 to 10 calls to get that appointment scheduled. I can't do that and go chase business. And without her, that kind of put me behind the 8 ball because focus on the leads I can't get a hold of versus going to try to get new ones. So it was an up and down roller coaster. It really was. So I'd say November was like the worst month I've ever had in my career, I think. And I think that we closed 4 deals and I was like, uh, Merry Christmas, kids. I don't have any money. I'm sorry. Because we woke up broke today.
But at what point, like, because I mean, that's a very common problem. I call it the glass ceiling of our industry, right? Like, you just keep bumping your head on it because you have those months where you have a blowout, right? Like, it's a great month and it just feels good, but so much was put into making sure that that month happened that a lot was lost on the prospecting side, a lot. And so then it's a rebuild the next month. And in your opinion, or just in your experience, like, what is the threshold that a loan officer should kind of keep their eye on where they really need to start considering, okay, to stay ahead of the curve here, I should think about hiring someone to kind of do what you're talking about, follow up on the lead so that it'll free up some time?
You're not going to, first off, you're not going to grow without hiring. And I've had my LP2, which basically is my processor per se. Is the easiest way to describe it. She's been with me for 4 years, I think. And the threshold is probably about that. You got to be at 7 to 8 a month, 6 maybe, 6 to 7. We'll just call it 6 to 7. Next threshold is that 13, 14. And I'm teetering every single month and getting there without that next hire. So I have to pay for it. But if I want to grow, I have to. And once you hit that threshold, guess what? The company covers it. Like, I don't pay for my LP2. I'm paying for my LP1 to grow, but I get to that number, the company pays for it, and I get my money back. It's a good motivational point to actually do more business because I'm losing money as I'm growing.
Yeah. Well, and I want to pause there real quick because I know a lot of people who feel like that's a chicken egg sort of conversation. There's a lot of people that feel like the company should do it first. They should make the first move. And, I know there was a previous guest on here who made the comment that if you're not willing to put the money out there yourself, then you don't really believe that you'll actually have the growth. And I think to your point too, like, doing that sort of forces the activity because now you're in the hole. And it's like, all right, I better climb out of this and then get to the other side of it. And it's a money where your mouth is sort of moment, right? Where you can say, listen, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to invest in this. And then you'll invest in it down the road because you're going to see the results that follow. So, hats off to you for making that decision and doing that. And anyone listening, I hope they're kind of hearing that. That's
believe me. I just saw my January 1st paycheck, and I thought it was this, and I forgot about her pay, and then I saw my pay stub, and I'm like, shit, that's where it went.
Honey, sorry. Well, but just be patient.
We had a conversation. I was like, okay, it's time to kick it in gear. I just saw what you cost me.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
in training mode right now. You know what I mean? We're in training mode. So
yeah. Well, and I think that's going to be a huge lift for you. So that's amazing. Now, just kind of switching gears a little bit, you made a comment where, like, the ultimate compliment for you as a loan officer is to receive a referral from a past client. What does that mean to you, just beyond the production and the volume and the paycheck of it all? But what does that really mean to you?
I will actually give you an example, which when we jumped on, I was on that call. You heard me talking to that agent, and she just sent me another lead. So this agent actually is down in Lubbock, Texas. I got her information from an agent down in Snyder that I work with quite often. And I ended up helping her and her family buy a house. Just happened she's a sales agent at a builder. I actually did a follow-up with her to see how the new house was going and if there was anything I could do or help with. She's like, actually, I have a client I need to have you see if you can help. The preferred lender that they sent him to declined the buyers 2 days before closing. I got the client and got him closed in 14 days, the day before Christmas. Him and his wife called me on Christmas Eve and praised the team, thanked me for everything, said it doesn't matter who they run across, they're going to give them my name. Merry Christmas to me. It was a great call. It's a good feeling. The review was amazing. Anybody not doing reviews, you need to do reviews, Google reviews. But that feeling is amazing. I got a gift from a client one time from a closing. The buyer gave me a gift, not me giving them a gift. The buyer gave me a gift. And he's in Virginia. He lives in Virginia, buddy of mine. The first gift I've gotten from a buyer, a significant gift. And usually we're the ones buying the gifts, right? So, I mean, it's that those are the type of activities that make you understand why you do it. Obviously, the money comes with it, but I mean, everybody knows in this industry we wake up broke every day. So you don't work, and it's easy not to work. We're self-employed. I got stuff to do today. That one day is going to cost you 3 days. So I love taking vacation, but guess what? My computer goes with me, and my wife allows me to do at least 1 to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Fair trade.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, it's to your point, you wake up broke every day. It's the scoreboard's at zero, not just at the end of the month, but at the beginning of every single day. Now, as we look ahead and just kind of think about the future of things, like if there's any advice you could give, or like, what are some of the things that you're focused on to remain in growth mode in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what are the essentials that a loan officer really should be focused on?
Change. I mean, I'm changing my whole business model. I mean, I've literally broken out a team 2026 goal, day by day activities for my LP1, my LP2. Again, always asking for the business, which I've never had the LP2 or LP1 do that. I had an LP1 prior, which is the lead assistant, but she was part time and she didn't last that long. So we went through the training and growth, and then she left. So change is inevitable. If you don't like change, you're not going to be successful in this business. You have to change with the environment, and this is an ever-changing business. But the focus, honestly, is to continue doing what made me successful and do the things that I wasn't doing to make me even more successful. So, and that's, again, getting out of that comfort level, making the calls. Mondays is realtor calls. Hey, can I go? You want to go to coffee? It's that day. And I feel like that's where I slack the most. And my my coach was like, call every single agent you did a deal with in 2025 and thank them. That's the easiest damn call you can make, Chris. And while you're on there, thank you for being a part of my success in 2025. I hope that we can be successful in 2026 10 times more. Simple call. Guess what? You got to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, 100%, man. I shared a comment on a LinkedIn post about that today. Someone was posting about what life is like at sales this time of year, for anyone watching, that we're recording this a couple of days after Christmas. But like when it's in the holidays, things do tend to get a little quieter, but there's always an opportunity to reach out with gratitude and to say, thank you and I appreciate you. And these are some things that I really, that stood out about you, and or these are some things that I've seen that have been helpful to others, and I just want to share, right? And just like there's always a reason, but I think that's what most salespeople, loan officers, recruiters, what we struggle with is what's the reason for calling? When there isn't one, how do we create one, and what is it that we can say? And so just having that, to your point at the very beginning, like that creativity of what is the next thing to call about, and are you manufacturing an opportunity there with something like an event, which I think is just super smart, by the way. But well, that's great, man. Well, as we kind of conclude here, is there a tool or a skill or anything in particular that you're really leaning into in 2026?
It's a good question. I just actually got my new coaching assignment because we change coaches every 6 months and the actual coach this semester is local, which is kind of cool. I think she's number 8 in the company. So I'm really excited about that. And then there's another LO mortgage professional in the group that is hilarious. So I can't wait to get to know him a little bit more. So you make buddies out of this deal, but I mean, I'm not going to obviously stop the coaching. It's cheap and there's accountability there. Never once have I ever done any type of lead tracking. That's something I've gotten from this as we do lead tracker. I can see every lead that's came in that I put on, who gave it to me, how many. I can tell you what I got for the year in 2025. I can tell you the ones that were successful and what agents give me just shit referrals that need to go off my book. But I will tell you, communication tracker is a form we have, lead tracker, and those two make a difference. The lead tracker and the communication tracker. Lead tracker, non-fail. Communication tracker, just to give you guys an idea of what that is, it literally says, did you make your calls today? And it has theme days on across the board. And you put in there the initials of the agent or whoever you called every single day. And was it a win or was it a loss? And if it's a loss, obviously I need to improve. That's probably the biggest tool I'm going to use. That, and like I said, having that assistant that can literally have my day set for me when I get up and sign on and tell me, hey, why the hell aren't you making your calls, and make your calls? So accountability too. So it just, like you said, it's coming out of my pocket now. I got to make it up.
That's right.
Motivation right there.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to see what it does for you and just kind of follow along. But Chris, I just want to thank you for joining the Lowdown, being a part of this, having a conversation with me today. I know anyone who's listening could gain a lot from what you had to say. And so best of luck to you in 2026 and beyond. And just, happy to know you, man.
Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.